Good days. Boom and boom.
Welcome to the Good Days podcast with Eddy and Charlie. Charlie, today is a
a good day.
It's a good day.
Very good day.
Oh, I love it. It's so good to be back in the podcast studio.
Yes.
To be, face to face with the Charlie Alcock. That's a good day for me.
I'm glad you get to see me.
Okay, we haven't met the entire summer.
I mean, not for a podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
It's been a great summer, bro.
Yeah, let's talk about summer.
Wow. Our teams, we did 42 youth camps. The reports, I spoke at 3 youth camps.
Okay. Amazing.
So I'm out there with them and then watching and attending others. Amazing reports coming in from friends all over the country.
That's so awesome.
I saw things that encourage somebody, that has lost heart.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost hope. God is moving in amazing ways.
That's so awesome. So, how many teams did we send out? Was it
6?
6 teams?
Yep, 6 teams.
And how many camps did we go to?
42.
42 camps.
A lot of miles from everywhere from Montana to Maryland, Canada, Oklahoma. I mean, just all over the place.
All over the place. Yeah. And what's so cool is our students get to participate in ministry. They're doing actual practical ministry. They're in the cabin with the kids. They are leading worship. They're leading games. They're doing the evening activities. They're having Bible studies with campers.
Counseling in the dorms.
Counseling in the cabins. They are leading kids to Christ. They're praying with kids at the altar. They are seeing life change and transformation. And then what God does too, which I think is super cool, He does a good work in their life too. Every time I talk to our students when they get back from ministry teams is, oh, Doc Shiggs, we need to talk. This summer was amazing.
So
God,
shout out.
Yes.
Shout out to all the former team members that are out in the field, that are out listening to the podcast.
They know what it's like, man.
Yes,
They've been there. They're veterans.
I always do this thing on Facebook, send a picture of all the teams because we always end our training week with a time of prayer, consecration. And then I send that out and said, please pray for us. And I get tons of responses of people who traveled in 1992, one of the greatest times of my life. I mean, all of those reports come back in from people remembering that was a great moment for me. Man, being on ministry
teams. Isn't that cool,
teams.
though, with people responding like that?
Oh, yeah.
And they're sharing a little bit of their story and their history with ministry teams. And it just lets us know that, what we do here at IWU and training these students to be ministry leaders, whether they're going to become a pastor or not, whether they become a teacher, because ministry teams people is not just it's not just ministry majors. It's all across the board.
Yes.
That they got a taste of ministry and that God used them in a very powerful way, and we see that through the history of the ministry teams.
I use this little adage all the time that the road reveals.
Yes.
And you really don't know until you're in the moment, you're on the road. I mean, you can be anybody you want to in a controlled environment, but when you get on the road, you're in that van.
It reveals a lot.
You're tired. and we have people that listen to the podcast. We want to welcome in all of our friends who, have been telling me they missed us this summer. We missed you.
We missed you.
We have people who are executives in business. We have people in the medical profession. So we welcome everyone to the podcast, just not people in ministry.
That's exactly right.
That are employed at a church is what I mean to say by that. So it's pretty cool to see how the road reveals. And actually, Doc, I noticed this on Monday Night Football this past week.
Yes.
So I sit down. It's Monday night. What are we going to do on Monday night? We're going to watch Monday Night Football.
We're going to watch Monday Night Football.
I don't care who the teams are.
Right. It's a
It's not
tradition.
Detroit Lions, so, whatever. And I still have affinity to the Chargers, even though they're LA Chargers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still love them from all my years in San Diego.
San Diego.
So it's the Bears and the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. I know where you're going with this, bro.
And it is, Monday night football. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
Dun,
Good
dun,
days.
dun, dun.
Feels good. It's right.
Mm-hmm.
Football's back. It's a ball.
Mm-hmm.
And so, here's this kid,
22 years old.
Now.
Couldn't even play last year.
First quarter, not great. Second quarter, not great. Third quarter, pick six.
Yeah.
Everybody's ripping
pick six, man. Shredding him.
J.J. McCarthy, he's terrible. Look at this kid. He's the worst. First game ever in the NFL, 22 years old. And by the way, anybody who knows anything about sports, one person, especially in a team game like football, is one person can't do it. There's a lot of factors. By the way, they weren't running the ball very well either.
No.
I mean, so if
that's a factor too.
Yeah, they had 56 yards passing. They only had like 40 yards rushing. And I mean, it's tough. It's the first game. There's ebbs and flows. But by the way, there's 4 quarters. Not 2, not 3, 4. And what happens in the fourth quarter? Bam. Starts throwing BBs. Here, there, touchdown. That first touchdown, that kid threw it on a rope. that heart, very few people could make that pass. So good. Next thing you know, he gets into the huddle. By the way, while they're losing, before that touchdown, he gets into the huddle and says to those in the huddle, "Where else would you rather be?"
Did he really?
Unquote.
Where else would you rather be?
Exactly. And they're like, what kind of crazy bro is this?
Because you're having a bad game right now.
The joy that you get to be in the game. You get
on
to
a Monday night
the game.
in the NFL.
Yes.
With millions of people watching you, but playing the game that you love.
Mm-hmm. Now remember, in high school and college, over 60 games that he played in high school and college, he won state championships as a high school player. He won a national championship as a college player.
And by what college did he go to?
In 2023, he won a national championship as a quarterback of the University of Michigan. So out of all this, he only has 3 losses.
Wow.
In 3 years in high school as a starter, and basically 2 years as a starter in college. Pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
Comes in fourth quarter.
Just want to let you know he's going to have more losses this year.
Probably. Maybe. That's life, right?
It is life.
It
doesn't get easier. It usually gets harder.
Yeah. The road reveals. And now the road has been rough. And if you listen to the TikTok critics, the commentators, and all the people who talk for a living, there's a lot of people who talk for a living who've never done anything for a living. So, I mean, if you listen to everybody on TV and all the social media, he's a loser. He's no good. He's not worth anything. He should give up. The road in the first 3 quarters was long. It's a long and winding road.
So the fourth quarter comes.
Yeah, it's a long. I was going to say it's a long and losing road.
2 touchdowns, and he runs for a touchdown.
3 touchdowns.
Yeah, first time ever by a rookie in the fourth quarter in their first game.
Pretty crazy.
That's pretty historic.
So the road reveals it. It's like it's not about how tight his spiral is, or even though it's an amazing pass. It doesn't. Those things aren't the factor. The factor is that you want to be in the game and you love it, and you're passionate, and you're willing to fight for it. You care about it. Your heart's in it. You might not perform the greatest every single game or week or whatever the case may be, But man, you won't give up.
No, exactly. It's perseverance. Can we dial this down a little bit regarding or dig into this a little bit more regarding the road reveals and apply it to ministry? Because one of the things I've been talking to a group of men is just the idea that we can rise to the moment, and we even see glimpses of greatness in our lives. When we have to give a sermon, or when we have to lead a Bible study, or when there's an altar call and we go pray with a student or go pray with somebody, we can rise to the moment and kind of have moments of greatness. But the road reveals to me, I think, and I want you to speak into this too, Charlie, of what it means to you. To me, the road reveals is like more of the long term. You're on a massive journey down this road we call ministry, and there's a ton of bumps along the road. And what it reveals in the long term is our grit, our tenacity, our faith, our obedience to God, staying true to our calling, no matter where the road takes us or what the road does to us. I mean, you say all the time, bro, is, something about like suffering, and suffering like matures us. Suffering brings understanding. Suffering brings empathy, like all of those things. So when we talk about the road reveals in ministry, I think it also reveals our character. And can we persevere? Do we really trust in God? Do we really trust in our calling? What does it mean for you, though, when we talk about it related to ministry?
Well, right off the bat, it reveals who truly is your source of power and strength. And for me, and for those who say, you know what, I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God the Father. I believe in Christ the Son. I believe in the Holy Spirit. Our God is
3 in 1.
For those who believe Scripture, it is Jesus Christ. So the road is rocky and brutal. In business, they say, what's your why? What is your why? Well, for me, it doesn't matter what it is. The why is I'm a child of God. And that's why. So when we relate it to like what we're talking about with these summer teams, and we're playing around with an illustration about football, I have one picture in my mind. So our teams are split up. There's 6 teams, but each team has one student leader. And being a student leader of your peers might be one of the toughest jobs that exists.
It's really hard.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, me too.
You did it.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
This team is made up with a bunch of these people, and Bryn, she's the leader of this team.
Yeah.
And we do this foot washing at the end of our training week, under a part of our consecration service. And I got this picture. We snapped this picture while she's washing the feet of these students. There's this one young man that sitting down there, and she's washing his feet. And the picture is her looking up and pointing to him, telling him, I believe in you.
Yeah.
And when
it's powerful,
when you start your journey with somebody who believes in you, when you hit the bumps, when you encounter all kinds of turbulence, because you will, that's a fact of life, knowing that the person who's leading you believes in you beyond the areas of failure, the moments that you make mistakes, because they see the value of you as a team member. And that is something that results in chemistry, and it results in team and a body working together and fighting through and all those things after that. And I remember talking to Bryn weeks and weeks, and probably about a month and a half later. I was speaking at a camp actually in Nebraska, and her team is at this camp in Nebraska. And just talking to her privately, before one of the sessions, it's like, so how do you feel now? 2 months ago, you're leading this team, and and admittedly, she would say, I don't feel worthy. I don't feel like, you know, was I the right choice? Did you make the right decision? And it's like, yes. Yes, we did. When Casey and I talked about, yes, you were the right decision then. How do you feel now? And her response was not, I'm a big deal. I'm amazing. Her response was, God was good, faithful. And I leaned on him.
What a great,
I
humble response, man.
yes, yes,
And those are the kind of
absolutely.
leaders we want,
Yes.
right? That respond in that type of humility and bring it all back to God. You know what I mean?
And I see it in all kinds of contexts. I know of a business person who leads a lot of people in a billion-dollar organization. I don't have permission to use his name, but maybe I'll hit him up and ask. And he has a ton of people underneath him in leadership. And a big part of his job is making sure people know that they're valued. Constantly telling people how much they matter and they're valued. So if you want people to get out there and work their tail off and be a part of stuff, and when they don't feel their best, when they have things going on at home that are difficult to deal with, we all do. If they come and they know they're valued, and I'm gonna walk beside you, I'm gonna be in the fight with you
Yeah.
as the road reveals.
Yes.
You're making the commitment before you enter the fray. And I think that's what you see in all of these people that we look to as examples is the decision is made before they hit the road.
Mm.
The decisions, I'm gonna stay committed regardless what happens.
God has called me to this.
Yeah.
I'm going to remain faithful and obedient. I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give
Yeah.
up. The road's going to reveal a lot about our team. It's going to reveal a lot about each individual person's character, but we are staying committed to the mission that God has us on.
And I'm staying committed.
Yes.
Even if anybody on my team does not, I'm still
Yeah.
I have to commit personally
Yes.
myself.
Yeah, that's good.
A lot of cool stuff that we
Yeah,
saw.
that's great. Great.
I would say to people who are listening, enjoy what we experienced, in these past months. Enjoy what God has done and the fruit and the amazing, the miraculous. Sometimes it's easy to forget it. It's like, well, that's then and this is now. No, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we enjoy that momentum, ride that wave,
Yeah.
go back and reminisce and appreciate it.
Right.
And it was incredible, incredible summer. So grateful.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that the opportunity that our students get to be a part of summer ministry teams. There's nothing like it. I mean, I think about you did it for 3-4 summers, Charlie. How many summers did you do it?
4.
Yeah. You did it for 4 summers. I only did it for 1 summer, but I will say that that was the best summer of my college career was when I did ministry teams.
So I remember, and you know this person. So fall ball, Rocky Kent.
That's reminiscent of Rocky Kent. I love that.
And it's baseball. And it's after one of the practices. It's the fall. And he had me pitch in one of these inter squad games. Because I put down, it's like, I want to try pitching. I worked all summer on this. I thought I could do it. And man, I just got beat up. I mean, I could see, people had big smiles on their face, when my curveball breaks about 2 inches, not a foot or 2. It's just not going to happen. But I'm pushing hard. I'm committed. I'm working hard. And then the opportunity came up, and to be on this team. And back in those days, you traveled all fall, spring, and summer. That one team. The only one team that actually traveled year round.
Right.
And somehow, by God's grace, you know, I tried out for that team and I made
And
it.
you made it.
And I remember going to Rocky, and he put his, he's what, 6'4"?
Yeah, he's a big man.
Puts his arm around me and says, it's right for you.
That's
You
awesome.
know? And in one say, encouraging me
Yes.
that's the right way
That's
to go.
the right way.
And saving himself, and he like, hey Charlie, you're not gonna
You're not cut out for this.
no, you're not gonna make this team.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
But he,
But he was able to like speak into like he did it in a way that was encouraging.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's so classic Rocky Kid.
And the thing is, I couldn't believe what we're getting paid to do this.
Right.
I would have done it for free.
Yeah, we actually get paid to kind of go do ministry to churches and students and people and adults and
No, make no mistake, we didn't get paid a lot. Okay. But
but there was a check at the end of the day.
The fact that I would get paid to go to youth camps in summer is like, what beautiful world is this?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I was going to do it for free.
Yeah.
I thought it was the greatest thing that ever existed. So all those lessons, all these years that have led up to these podcasts, that now what we get to do and send teams out and invest in those leading. Actually, today, Doc, I had a chance to meet with some former team members. One of them is a high school pastor, a church in Indianapolis, Northview, named J.C. Herring.
J.C. Herring. Here's a shout out, J.C.
Boom, J.C. And then another one was a team member, Josh McKenzie, J-Mac.
Oh, yeah, J-Mac.
FCA, lead FCA director at Purdue University. So we're hanging out this morning, having breakfast, reconnecting. McGarren, who was on that team, is out in L.A., and he couldn't be there. But, just going back and reminiscing, and all we talked about was those days.
How fun is that?
And basically that team we ran during the summer of 2020. Coming out, all that COVID season, what we learned and the lessons things, all that stuff. And now these years later, there's so much to talk about, but we went back to some of those experiences, and that's the beauty of what we get to do, and people that are in leadership. And if you're a pastor out there or a business person or whatever, we get to influence and encourage people. We get to set people up to win, to be involved. We get to put people in places where they can succeed. And that's the beauty of leading. That it's not that I'm going out and doing all these camps. I get to do several, and that's awesome. But it's setting people up that they can go do it. Lead into the future. Give them that experience.
Yeah, that's fun.
Pretty cool.
It is super cool.
So we have a great theme.
Yeah, now
this next theme.
This is crazy. This is season 5 for us.
Yep.
Season 5 for the good days. And so we do have a theme for season 5. Charlie, once you kind of introduce that theme, because super excited about this. This is kind of we're going down a different road.
Yes. And this came from the summer. This came from what was happening at camp, and just, I remember thinking about this instantly at this camp, and like, oh, I cannot wait to talk to Doc about this. But the theme, the title of season 5 is Bridging the Generational Gap.
Whoa, here we go.
Boom.
And boom.
So if you like the title, cool. If you don't, whatever. Too bad.
Okay, so when we talk about bridging the generation gap, what are we going to be talking about and discussing then regarding this podcast this year?
So in a conversation with somebody who's turning 85 here, like this week, Dr. Joanne Lyon. I mean, this lady is a hero of the faith.
Yeah, exactly.
Started this international ministry, that's doing incredible things all over the world. All right. And we're going to talk about her a little bit later. We'll save the deep introduction for later, talking to her about what's next, what's happening with youth. At the same time, talking to a middle schooler at a camp.
Right.
about what they
Right.
see and what's happening. At the same
And
time,
what God is doing in their life.
yes. And so I'm thinking, okay, here we have this kid who's 12, and here is this person who's 85. And what's the gap in between them? And what's happening and how do we understand these gaps in ministry, whether it's youth context, church context, parachurch organizational context. It doesn't matter, where you're at in the spectrum. We have to understand that this gap, exists. How do we bring it together? How do we close the gap? How do we help somebody who's 85 recognize and see and be encouraged by what's happening with a 12-year-old?
Right.
Now, Dr. Line is the exception to every rule that's ever existed.
She's on top of things, man.
Already connected, already there. And in fact, we've already invited her to come in here in a couple weeks and do a back-to-back,
it'd be amazing.
2-week session.
Yeah. She still does a great job of relating to every generation. Like she's so
Absolutely.
on top of it and able to just do a great job of caring for people, and loving them and helping them see, be seen. Like she's absolutely phenomenal.
So how do we help older people understand it and relate to the younger generation? How do we help the younger generation relate to the older generation? What are the differences? What are the uniquenesses? What are the communicational styles? What are their ethics? And what are the issues with technology that might divide them? And we talk about this all the time here in class. We can't make our preferences our platform.
Right.
So what are the preferences in those generations that we can identify and say, hey, we need to let those go for the sake of unity. We want to highlight, all these generations. I wrote down here, the silent generation, boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. And how do we understand how they all function so that we can be the body of Christ, that we're on one team? So we have so many ways we can go with this, and we want to bring in all kinds of people. So we're going to bring in.
We're talking about bringing in people from different generations, right?
Absolutely.
To really kind of understand this.
And there's a couple people that we already lined up that are, 6, 7 years old. And just talk to them, get their perspective a little bit. Bring in high school students, middle school students, college students, young adult people, all the way up to, Joanne.
Yeah.
And have some really good conversations on how do we bring this all together? How do we learn these lessons from each other so that we can lead into the future?
Yeah, that's great.
Very excited about
That's
this.
super exciting. And one of the cool things is I saw Jordan and Daniel Rife this week, and so I had a quick conversation with them. They're worship pastors at College Church here in Marion, and that's the church that Esther and I attend. And on Sunday, I just said, "Hey, man, I really appreciate this. When you put together a worship team, and they've got a bunch of people on that platform playing all these different kinds of instruments, and last Sunday had like a little choir that was like getting down to." They had people participating up there on the stage as young as 4 years old and as old as in their 80s, and every generation in between. And I just said, that is amazing how you coordinated that and got kind of this intergenerational ministry happening, and that they're relating to each other and they're partnering with each other and they're doing ministry together. They're on the platform of College Church this last Sunday. Super cool.
So that's what we wrote down in this, as far as here's some of our framework. For example, what are the core values that transcend generations? How does storytelling help each generation connect? How does music, media, and technology, what role do they play in all this type of stuff? What is the role of mentorship, and models that help us do this? And at the same time, we're going to dig into some of the difficult conversations. I was reading an article by a nationally known person who's basically stating youth ministry is a waste of time.
What?
Yeah, and I'll bring that up later. Something that Dr. DJ Coleman and I were looking into. And how do we talk about that? What's the role of youth ministry within the context of the church? And why is it so important? And how do we talk about it and help people understand it? Why we need to connect with each generation in a unique way and at the same time come together as one. We can do you could do two things at the same time. So it's like there you can do a lot of things well
Yeah, that's great.
at the same time. So we're gonna mess with that during this season, and I cannot wait for some of these interviews.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Because right now, Doc, I mean, your generation getting a little long in the tooth.
Guys, don't you just love that? How he points to me and
What?
my generation. As if Charlie and I are not in the same
We're
generation.
actually a different generations.
No, we're not. Sorry.
By 1 year, I think.
No.
No?
I'm Gen Xers. Gen X, and so are you.
Okay.
That's yeah.
People don't know what we are. It's like,
It's just
dude.
like, oh, I'm sorry. I can't stop laughing.
I'm
You
Gen
guys-
Z.
You have no idea what it's like to do a podcast with the Charlie Alcock.
Whatever.
It's such a blast. Oh man, one of the fun things, I get genuine laughs every episode, bro. So thank you. I love it. Hey, but when we talk about this real quick as we kind of wrap things up, what do you think are some practical applications of some of these podcasts and for this season on this theme? What are your thoughts with that? Like, what are some hopeful takeaways for people?
All right. I think number one, it's going to help us be aware of each other. So understand each other. So that's just a healthy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think out of that, we can come out and better develop spaces for each generation to function within their strength and their passions.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not mutually exclusive. I mean, it's those things can happen. There are preferences that are not bad. When we say don't make your preference your platform, it doesn't mean that we can't enjoy certain preferences,
Right.
because I certainly do, bro. I mean, man,
So do
when I'm back in San Diego, I'm going to Cafe Coyote. I'm getting carne asada quesadilla.
Of course you are.
Bro. I mean, queso fundido with chorizo. Bro,
Those are your preferences when you go back to San Diego.
Absolutely. I'm going to El Azteca to get a breakfast burrito.
Yeah.
I'm going to Rubio's to get the fish taco. By the way, that exists like no other place on the planet. Those are preferences.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it doesn't mean that preferences are bad. It just means they can't be our platform that divide us. So I think it's understanding perspectives and respecting perspectives. I think it's to bring unity across the generations.
Yeah, I think that's really
and see how we
important
work together. It's to listen. Number three, to like stories and understand experiences from the road that will help the next generation at least learn how we can maybe avoid some traps and pitfalls that can be extremely damaging. So if you know where some of the potholes are ahead.
Yes.
Can I tell you this really quick story?
Absolutely.
So I'm driving.
What if I said no? What would you do?
Then whatever. We'll see it anyway.
He was like, I'm going to say the story anyway.
So it was Ron Howard talking about his role as Opie. Now, you have no idea what we're talking about. There was this TV show back in the day, black and white.
Yeah, black and white.
What do you think it's called?
That's during Charlie's days, not mine. It was, he experienced black and white.
I only saw the reruns. So do you remember what this TV show is called?
Yes. It was called, oh, come on. Help me out.
Opie. Remember the dad's a sheriff?
Yes. I know, bro. I just can't think of the name. What's the name?
Happy Days? No.
It's not Happy Days, man. Were they like, what's the name of the town? Like Mayflower?
Mayberry.
Mayflower, Mayberry.
I'm going to give Eddie a chance to think about this. I'm getting really disturbed right now. I'm going to tell the story and see if you can remember.
Oh, my goodness.
Remember Andy Griffin? Well, anyway.
The Andy Griffin Show.
So Ron Howard is telling the story.
I nailed it, folks. It only took me 5 minutes.
So anyway, he's telling the story that You know,
And Ron Howard played Opie. Who was
yes, Ron
the
Howard,
son of
famous.
Andy Taylor, who was the sheriff.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe Google who actually is the actor uh, that played the sheriff.
Yeah,
If
Andy
you can,
Griffiths.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're digging around and I'm listening to this podcast, and he started to share like what they wanted to do is they wanted to cast Opie as almost like the son who classic what they do on TV, kind of, you know, is a smart, these are his words, a smart aleck that constantly corrects his father and
Oh,
you know, in a way kind of makes him look kind of stupid. The
yeah.
dad, you know, kind of a gullible, dumb, you know, does not relevant, you know, and just this, you know, this may be this comedic expression or actually this poor example of a father son.
Right.
And they went back and said, what happens if we do the exact opposite? What happens if Opie loves his father
Yes.
and learns lessons?
Yeah.
And I'm listening to this like, whoa.
Dude, it was awesome too, because every episode was a lesson for Opie to learn. Right.
Mhm.
And they still had like the goofy character in Barney Five. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The goofy, silly, fun character.
Yeah.
Right. But the father son, you know, relationship, that was priceless, man. That was like a beautiful story.
And there's one time where somebody says, well, shouldn't you let this, you know, young boy, you know, make his own decisions and do whatever he wants to do? And, you know, Andy's like, no, my job as a parent is to help him avoid, you know, some of these disastrous decisions that may do, you know,
It's going to harm him.
immeasurable harm. That's what a parent does. I'm not going to let him put his hand on the hot stove. And then there will be a day where he will make his decisions.
Yes.
When he's matured and grown and developed. But what I gleaned out of that is like the relationship between somebody who's older and mature to help invest in the next generation, not to restrict them or to prevent them, but to encourage them and to guide them and set them free. And when you think about all of the pitfalls, when you think about the mistakes that you made, it's like, if I could just help somebody see this, obviously all of us have to learn our lessons on our own. We have to make our own decisions. You know, we have to walk the road. We can't take away the struggle,
Right.
but you can definitely encourage along the way. And the generations can work together better. There can be these unique things. It's clear in scripture.
Yeah.
Like the older people will have, you know, those visions, and the younger people dream the dreams. And there's this beautiful relationship between the old and the young. That's what we want to fight for.
It's great.
On how we work together and fight together, and you know, and encourage. I remember this story. We came back from our youth camp one summer, and we had that classic youth Sunday that we get to report. And we get
the
up
one
there,
time you get Youth Sunday when you come back from
the
youth
one
camp.
time,
Yep.
and it was just, we had 3 minutes. I think it was 3 minutes for two people to give a quick testimony.
Right.
Those testimonies started to move. That 3 went to 5. That 5 went to 10. Now students are just getting up, not even being coming up. I'm going to share that service by noon. It started at 10:30. By noon, it started out with the worship part, Todd Guy leading, and then these students sharing. By noon, the altar was filled with adults.
Wow.
I'll never forget this. I actually have the audio recording, and I remember adult person after adult person, like, I needed that. I lost hope. I forgot what it was like to be passionate. I forgot, you know, about the simple things. They helped me remember that God loves me, that my life isn't over. So there are some beautiful things that can happen
So awesome.
Then when we work together, learn each other's lessons, have our clearly, do things that are unique to each generation, of course. But I think this season is about the learning the lessons and the encouragement, because when you have ministry where your children and youth are vibrant and passionate, it encourages the older generation.
Mhm.
I had people come up and say, I lost hope. And this is like this almost 30 years ago this happens. And this is, in a ministry before I went to California. This was at Lakeview, actually,
Mhm.
in Marion, Indiana. And people said, I've lost hope in the next generation. Lord, come back now. There's no
Wow.
hope. The world is, about to end. And now I have hope.
That is really, really cool.
So a lot of cool things we're going to
Yeah.
talk about.
Yeah. Super excited. Folks, again, welcome to season 5 of the Good Days podcast. We are excited about where it's
It's
going.
going to be good.
And this whole idea of bridging the generational gap and understanding each other, I think is going to be awesome.
Bros, and we promise. And again, if you're newer to the podcast, when we say bro, that in the Greek means brethren and sistren. Or if you're from the South, it's the same as y'all.
Y'all, it's all y'all.
All y'all. Okay.
That means everybody.
We might even bring you some cheer wine. I don't know. If we're connecting down in the South. It's good days.
It's good days.
So don't be like, we'll catch up with the lingo.
That's right.
We're gonna send out actually a listener guide.
That's actually would be a good idea to have a listener guide of the
What
lingo.
does this mean?
Right.
6, 7. What? And some of you are gonna have to look that one up. That
Hey,
reference.
That's right. Folks, we love you. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week. Boom.
And boom.